Hello guys and welcome. Why? Hello guys and welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell from the title, I am going to be talking about my Kindle. On my channel I constantly talk about how I am reading on Kindle. Sometimes I am talking about using my phone and going on the Kindle app to read books. A lot of times I'm talking about actually reading on my Kindle. This is my Kindle Paperwhite 6.8-inch display and I got the 16 GB one. There was really no reason for me to get 16 GB, but when I was buying my Kindle, the 16 GB was the one that was on sale, so I got it. If you guys are looking for a video where I explain a lot of the technical stuff, this is not it. I'm just giving my own personal experience with my Kindle. This is the black Kindle and I really wanted the green one, but it was not available. I haven't had this for a year yet. I bought it this year in March. It's only been 7 months. This is my experience having my Kindle for 7 months. I really like how convenient it is to read on my Kindle, especially at night. You guys don't know. Before I owned this, I read a lot of my Kindle Unlimited books on my phone through the Kindle app. I'm not gonna lie, my screen time on my phone has been an insane number. Having and owning a Kindle has decreased the hours on my phone, and I just feel so proud. It makes me feel like I'm not constantly looking at my phone and hurting my eyes, because one good thing about having a Kindle is that there is warm light and it protects your eyes. That was the biggest reason why I got myself a Kindle, and it's because I just felt like I was constantly staring at my phone way too much, and it doesn't feel as straining to read through this screen. This is also waterproof, so you can read this while taking a bath. I personally would not do that, but apparently you can if you want to. Let me just open my Kindle for you guys. This is the lock screen. I bought this with the ads, and you can spend extra $20 to not get the ads, but I just don't mind it. It does me no harm. I saved myself $20 from that. When I click my power button on the bottom, it goes to this screen and I just swipe up to unlock. The only problem I would have with the ads is this kind of screen. You see this? It lets people know exactly what kind of books I am reading. So again, this is my lock screen, and then when I hit the power, it shows you the book that was on the actual lock screen. So when I swipe up to my Kindle, it just basically shows me my home and my library. It will also have your current read in the very center, like that. This is all of my Kindle Unlimited that I have, because I have the Kindle Unlimited filter on the top. You can basically just filter out what you want to see. You also have options to curate collections, so you can organize your books. I would do that, but I haven't gotten to organizing my whole library yet, and I'm just not ready to even deal with that. So I don't really have all my books sorted out, which I'm okay with, because most of the time I'm reading Kindle Unlimited, so I don't really need that in collections. I do want to show you guys, if you guys do have a Kindle or you are planning on buying it, and the way that I did it to hide the current books that I'm reading, to not let others see a naked shirtless man, is that I go to the settings where it says your account. So I would click my account, you would see ads, click on that, and then there are two options. There are ad filtering and there's also personalized ads. Now I have those both on. Ad filtering basically hides the images, the shirtless men that I'm not trying to let everybody know what kind of books I'm reading. Immediately have that on. My personal ads, this is on because sometimes I do get recommendations from these ads, so I don't want to turn it off, even though it's these ads that are giving me the risque covers. So if you guys are wondering how you guys can filter out the lock screen, that's how you can do that. If you guys still find the ads annoying, then you guys can go ahead and pay the extra amount required to have it removed. Now this is my current screen. I have never exceeded my brightness above a 10, because I think 10 is just bright enough. My warmth, I have that really high for some reason. I can turn it all the way off. Ooh, this is so cold. I love my warmth high on the scale. When I read at night and the lights are off, my brightness is usually at a 5 and my warmth is at an 18. So it's very comfortable for me to read at that level, but to each their own. just lower the brightness because 10 sometimes is really high for me. My default is usually 8. I do want to let you guys know about the battery life and how frequent I charge this device. The battery life in this is insanely good. I normally read around 4 to 5 hours, and at the brightness that I just showed you guys, which is at 8 and my warmth is above a 10, I would be charging my device like once a week. I don't even charge it a lot. If I say that I read my Kindle 4 to 5 hours a day at that brightness level, and let's just say I read it 5 times a week, I would still just be charging it once a week, or sometimes not even that. So the battery life is incredible. When I woke up this morning, my Kindle was a 66. I read it for 3 hours, and at night now it's also at 66. The battery does not drain really fast. I think a lot of it is due to the brightness level that you have, and that could be what drains most of the battery. If you guys are like me and you guys don't mind reading it a little dim, then maybe you can preserve your battery that way. I really do think that the device itself is pretty great. The only time I've had an issue with this is when I actually caught that on video, and it was in the letting my Instagram followers choose what I read. I was trying to turn on my Kindle, and that was the only time that my Kindle has acted up, and I can't recall any other time where my Kindle just did not work on me. There was a thing that I was worried about before getting a Kindle. Before I bought a Kindle, I actually owned an Amazon Fire tablet, and I was reading on Kindle through that. I did not love the experience reading Kindle on the Fire tablet. I thought the whole flipping pages was very slow. Okay, I'm a patient person. I think I am. I'm not that patient. The flipping speed page on my Kindle, if I am on this page and I flip it, it's like really quick. Yeah, you guys see this? It's like pretty quick. If there is one thing I have to complain about when it comes to reading, it's my highlighting notes, because when I read on my phone, I have the option of choosing emojis to capture what I'm feeling. On my Kindle, you can't do that. So let's just say I highlight this portion of the text, and I like to note certain lines. So if I were to click note, I would just be writing on here. Taking notes on the Kindle is not the most convenient. If I need to find something to complain about, it would be that. Typing on a Kindle is very different from typing on a phone. Auto type is not the best, but there are a lot of options for you. I put the letter D, that's the only thing I've typed in. And look at all my options. Do you guys see this? See, where did he even get dramatic, down, didn't, doesn't? Like, how did they even come up with these words? There's a lot of options. You can click the arrows and they'll show you more words like description, daughter, dangerous, dating. Differences, doping, diff, Diego, describing. Like, where did all these suggestions come from? Just from a letter D. Why did I choose D though? Basically, that is the whole point with the notes. If I have to find something to complain about, it would be my typing on this and correcting the letters and how they don't have emojis. So yeah, if I don't like the note, then I could just delete it. Oops, delete it. And that's it. You also have options on the bottom when you're reading, the page number and the percentage of the book that you are at. So for this book that I'm currently reading, I'm on this page, and that's how much of the book that I've already read. There have others. You can look at how many minutes you have left in a chapter. So I have 5 minutes left in this chapter apparently. It also tells you how much time left I have in the book. So I have 49 minutes left in the book. That is so sad. I don't want to be done with this book yet. And it also tells you location of the book, but I've never really understood the idea of the location. So I usually just stick to page number. And there's also the option to leave it blank. On the top, it tells you the time. I'm pretty sure you can remove that if you don't like it. So if you guys click on the top, it would have this whole bar. This is very similar to if you have the Kindle app on your phone. If you click on the letter, the alphabet's AA, you click on that, it would show you themes, font, layout, and more. And you click on more, and you can turn on and off the show clock, which is the time on the top. Something I almost forgot to mention, and it's the highlight menu that is also under the more tab. So I have the highlight menu on, and what this is that whenever you read on a Kindle and you come across a line and there are hyphenated underlines, it means that people who read this book have highlighted this line. I don't know how accurate the number is, but it would also tell you how many people have highlighted this certain line that you're reading. On this book on page 1,188 people have highlighted that particular line, and I just love seeing that. That's all the things that I think I wanted to let you guys know. Now we're going to talk about the Kindle Unlimited membership. I obviously subscribe to Kindle Unlimited monthly, and I pay $11.99 a month, and I get to borrow up to 20 books. If you guys are wondering if this is worth it, if you guys should get Kindle Unlimited or not, you have to think about how many books you're actually reading a month. Once I started reading a lot more books and I noticed that a lot of the books that I'm reading are on Kindle Unlimited, that's when I decided, let's just get the Kindle Unlimited membership. I started like 3 years ago. At that time, 3 years ago, I was reading, if I have to give myself an estimate, I think it was around 10 books a month. A lot of Kindle Unlimited books are around $3 to $4 or maybe $6, but if I have to say that each book is around $4, it means that I am reading $40 worth of books, but I'm paying $12 monthly. The math obviously made sense that it was a good idea to shift to Kindle Unlimited, and I basically saved a lot. If I'm talking about now, I'm reading around 5 books a month on Kindle Unlimited. I would still say it's pretty worth it. It really just depends on what I'm reading and how I'm balancing my time to read. I know myself that I can read at least 5 Kindle Unlimited books a month. So I'd say that that is pretty worth it for me because, like I said, if it's around $4 a book, 5 books times $4 is like $20, and I just saved myself like around $7 to $8. I wouldn't necessarily join into a membership if you're reading less than 4 books a month, because it just wouldn't be worth it to spend $12 if you're not reading that $12 worth. Now, I'm not talking about whether you like the book or not, because that's also another thing to think about. When I did not have Kindle Unlimited and I was just buying books and I didn't like it, you can't return every book that you don't like. So that's one of the great things about Kindle Unlimited. Once you read a book and you don't like it, let's just say you DNF it, you can return it and borrow another book. It would be like you didn't really waste any money to buy a book you didn't like. So yeah, if you guys were really thinking about whether or not you guys want to join Kindle Unlimited, then that's something to consider. Obviously, not a lot of books are $4, but I noticed my Kindle Unlimited books are usually around that range. There are a lot of books that are not under Kindle Unlimited. They usually cost around $8, $7, and those I would consider whether or not to get the paperback. So that's a completely different story. Let me just make sure I have all of the points covered before I move on to my Kindle Unlimited recommendations. I totally just skipped over this. I did not even talk about the case that I have. I have a clear case, and I also stuck a pop socket on here. This is a pop socket that I got when I was in Korea. So I have a few stickers on the in the back. It's not actually stuck onto my Kindle. I just have a double-sided tape to put behind the stickers because I do like to change out my stickers. So this is the Kindle without the case, and basically it's really light. It's about as heavy as my phone. It's lighter than my phone. Yeah, so this thing is really light. I think that's also a bonus when it comes to getting a Kindle, is that I don't have to constantly carry books around. And not that that's an issue, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I also have a screen protector on my Kindle because I just don't want to scratch this up. There are options to buy cases where you can just like cover the cover. Until I find one that is magnetic, I'm gonna stick with this one, because I don't like the idea of holding the cover and the Kindle. I know there are also ones where it's magnetic, that when you open it, it unlocks the Kindle for you, but it's just the back part. While the sirens want to keep going at this, I'm gonna take off my braid. Now onto my Kindle recommendations. I have a list with me in my notes app because I wanted to make sure I get as much in as possible and just share with you guys some of the books that I've read, and also books that I know are on Kindle and are very popular right now. So there are a lot of books on Kindle Unlimited, like a lot. I normally read romance, so I borrow a lot of romance, but they have thriller, they have biography, they have thriller, they just have a whole lot that you guys can look at. They have mystery. I'm going to be recommending a lot of romance because that's basically what I read. First off, there is Dreamland Billionaires by Lauren Asher, and I've only read 2 of them. They have it on Kindle Unlimited, the entire series. They also have the Dirty Ears series. I only read the first one, but the entire series is on Kindle Unlimited. If you want to read some Formula One books, or you want to read about some billionaires, then you guys can, you know, read those. Another very popular series that I own but is also on Kindle Unlimited is by Anna Huang, and it is the Twisted series. Now, I've only covered the first 2 books. They have all 4 on Kindle Unlimited, and also this other series by Anna Huang that I have not started yet, but it's the King of Sins series. I only found out today that there are 3 books out already. I did not realize how fast this was being released, so there's a lot of Anna Huang books I need to get to. Another series I absolutely love, and I've read 3 for 3, and it is the Windy City series by Liz Topper. This series and this author I've talked about on my channel before, so you're not surprised if you see this here. If you want to read about professional sports players, and you also want to read about these female leads that you would just find lovable and you yourself will just wish you were them, then this series right here. Another series I've talked about on this channel is, I don't think you guys should be surprised anymore, but I'm going to be bringing it up obviously because I'm talking about Kindle Unlimited, and it is the UFJ series by Alice's. Will always be one of my favorite college sports romance ever. You would never catch me saying something else about this. It will always be there. It was just the book at the right time for me. I love the found family, the previous series as well. I love a lot of found family. The next series I'm going to be sharing with you guys is also another found family, and it's another sports romance. I can't get enough of these. And this one is Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack. I love this so much. This is going to be turning into my favorites. I genuinely just love this series. These are such feel-good series that I'm listing here. They own a piece of me. They actually do. Especially the first book in this series. Olivia and Carter are irreplaceable for me. I can't talk about Kindle Unlimited and not bring this one up, and it's the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I actually own the Kindle books for this because they weren't on Kindle Unlimited when I read it and I bought the Kindle books, but they are on Kindle Unlimited now. It feels like a sin to say I haven't read the entire series, but I do know what each book is about. Like I said, I bought the books instead of borrowing on Kindle Unlimited. I wanted to make sure that I bought the books for the characters that I was actually interested in, and it was the deal and the score, I think. Garrett and Hannah, again, one of my OTP couples. They were my original Olivia and Carter, so the deal means a lot to me. Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver is also on Kindle Unlimited. I only read Heartless, and I was going to read the rest of the series, but it wasn't actually all out yet, so I haven't gotten to it, but I will one day. Just so you know, this is about cowboys. I don't really have a thing for that. This book introduced me to that. I have actually read other books of cowboys. What was it? Oh my gosh, I know this. Oh, I don't even have this book on my list, but I will let you guys know. This book by Sophie Lark is on Kindle Unlimited, and I absolutely love this one too. And this one had not only a cowboy but also bodyguard romance with an incredible strong female lead. She was badass. The Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score is also on Kindle Unlimited. I recently read Things We Never Got Over. I read that on Kindle Unlimited, even though I have the physical book. But yeah, the whole Knock 'Em Out series is on Kindle Unlimited, and I have that on my TBR. I'm going to be sharing some of my Kindle Unlimited recommendations. What I just gave you guys, those are like the fluff kinds. Those are the easy ones, but I'm also gonna give you guys some dark, dirtier ones, and I'm obviously going to recommend to you guys some reverse harems. Sometimes I just want to read those books. So there are a lot of reverse harems, and I've read plenty of them. If you go through my Goodreads, you would see it, but the one that I will recommend here is by Tate James, Madison Kate series. This one is a reverse harem. I don't really remember a lot of what happened. I just remember enjoying it, and that is going to be the case for a lot of the next few books I'm going to be telling you. There's also the Hades series by Tate James that I liked because I just love the female character in this series. Another reverse harem that I've read from Tate James is The Guild. And the 3 series I've just mentioned to you, those books are kind of in the same universe. You get to read about characters that you've read in the previous series. It's nice to see some good cameos. Another author I've read reverse harems from is C.M. Stunek, and I've read, I've read The Rich Boys of Burberry Prep and Adamson All Boys Academy. I do want to preface this by letting you guys know that the ones that I just mentioned are bully romances, so if you're not interested in that, don't read these two. From Savon Davis, I read, well, the Saint Pet series and the Rydeville Elite. Now, these are not reverse harems, but there is a group of boys and it's one girl. She only ends up with one of the boys there, and then the other boys get their own books. These are also bully romances, so again, if you're not interested, don't read this. I mean, just make sure you guys check the trigger warnings for the books that I've mentioned, because I don't want you guys to go into it and find out that there are things in it you guys don't like to read. So just make sure to check trigger warnings. Okay, the Mind F series by St. Abbey. Definitely check trigger warnings before picking up this series, but this is one of my absolute favorite series, and it feels so sick to say it, but I honestly just love this series. I love the revenge. This is also on Kindle Unlimited, and this is one of the books I'm just so glad that I got to read. Check the trigger warnings before you decide to pick up this series. Another author I've read that writes bully dark academia romance is Rena Kent. The Royal Elite series I read the first 3 books of this series. At the time, I told myself I was going to read the whole series, but I don't know about that yet, but I just might now, because Rena Kent, she's writing the second generation. It's basically kids from the series and like other series that she's written. So yeah, I might just do that. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot to let you guys know that Elle Kennedy, her off-campus series, she also is preparing a second generation, The Garrett Effect, which follows Garrett and Hannah's daughter, is going to be released soon. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that. These authors are just coming back with the second generation books. Let me just shift here. Another author that I want to mention that has the parent generation as well as the kid generation, all of her books are out. She wrote the Enemies to Lovers series, and then there's also the Trinity Academy series. Both of these produced the Ears series. These are the kids, the parents generation. I haven't finished the kids. I will one day. I have to. Another author with a lot of her books on Kindle Unlimited is QB Tyler. Now, I don't have a specific book I want to recommend to you guys. I'm just gonna list a bunch here that I've read. She writes like dirty smut scenes, so just be prepared. There's also taboo, forbidden themes in her books. Have that in mind if you want to pick up her books. I also want to mention that the Dark Verse series by Runix is also on Kindle Unlimited. Again, there are trigger warnings. Just have caution when you read certain books, because these can be really dark. I have to mention the Grip trilogy and the Hoops trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. There's also this series that I absolutely love with my whole heart, and it is the Contract series by Melanie Moreland. Also check out this author. The Contract series in particular is one that I just love by her. This is a billionaire romance. There are 4 books in this series. The last book in this series I haven't read yet because it was released like last year. It's just this bonus book that I didn't even know we were going to get. Another book that I want to recommend to you guys, and it is by Lauren Talassa, and it is the Bargainer series. I just remember when I discovered this series, I just binged read this. At this time, I did not have my Kindle yet, and I was just holding my phone and just constantly reading. Like, I had nothing else to do. I recommended a lot of books and series, but there are 2 more I'm just going to recommend to you guys, and these are standalones. And the first one is How to Honeymoon Alone by Olivia Haley. This is clearly a summer read, but I'm just going to recommend it to you guys here anyway because it is on Kindle Unlimited. This one was really fun to read. This book had a lot of good moments that I just personally can't get enough of. And on to the last recommendation, and it's also the book that I'm currently reading, and it is Collide Hockey Romance by Bal Kara. This is the one that I'm 84% in. I thought I'd just put it in here. I already showed some parts of this book in this video. Might as well recommend it to you guys because it's on Kindle Unlimited. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and got some insight on my Kindle and got a lot of recommendations to read on Kindle Unlimited. Hopefully this video was helpful to some of you guys. Stick around if you guys want to see more videos from me. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!